Welcome back to my channel. Bernie Sanders is adding payments into this next stimulus package, and he's focusing on helping seniors. Now, in this video, we're going to have huge updates on the stimulus check for seniors, as well as some big plans for Medicare that President Biden and Bernie Sanders have to save seniors a ton of money. So let's discuss the details, but before we jump into it, do me a quick favor, like this video, hit subscribe, and share this channel to anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors and those who are disabled, and my job is to be a voice for you, to make sure that President Biden is keeping his promises and increasing Social Security benefits, increasing SSI and SSDI, and approving stimulus checks for seniors. So thank you for being a part of this community. I am here for you, and all I ask is for your support. And if you really want to support my work, subscribe to my second channel. The link to that is going to be in the comments of this video. On that channel, I'm going to be giving away some stimulus checks, and that's going to be more of an entertainment channel where we play bingo, play casino games. I'm going to be on camera. We're going to have a live chat so we could all kind of hang out. It's going to be fun. So if you want to subscribe to that, it's going to be in the comments of this video. Okay, so with that said, let's do a quick update on daily trending news. Then we'll jump right into stimulus checks for seniors, and these Medicare ideas that Bernie Sanders and Biden are putting in place to save you a ton of money. Now, you've probably seen a lot of headlines that say, just passed, just approved, the Senate just voted. Well, what they're talking about is avoiding the government shutdown by keeping the government funded until February. Now, this article is titled, Shutdown Averted as Senate Passes Bill to Fund Government. This is really important because we talked about if the government runs out of funding, Social Security payments could potentially be delayed. It's debatable. Some people say they wouldn't, but it's definitely a possibility that if the funding ran out, that your Social Security payments would be delayed. But good news is they completely avoided that. Now, the Senate on Thursday night passed a bill just last night funding the federal government, avoiding a shutdown that would have started at midnight on Friday. The vote was 69 to 28, so an overwhelming majority of people voted for it, including Republicans. The House passed the measure on Thursday evening, and it now heads to President Biden's desk for his signature. The bill funds the government through February 18th and sets aside $7 billion in aid for refugees in Afghanistan. Now, one thing we're worried about is a handful of conservative Republicans were saying they were going to try and block the measure to try and stop President Biden from approving stimulus, basically trying to derail President Biden's entire agenda. Now, some conservative Republicans had said they would block the measure in protest over vaccine requirements for large companies, but their opposition was not enough to keep the bill from going through. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said, "I am glad that in the end, cooler heads prevailed. The government will stay open, and I thank the members of this chamber for walking us back from the brink of an avoidable, needless, and costly shutdown." So, good news, the government won't be shut down, and they won't have to address that again until February 18th. So, we'll have a couple more months, and then we'll probably be addressing that once again. Now, a lot of experts think that President Biden's stimulus check package, aka the Build Back Better Act, will be signed into law at the end of this month. A lot of experts think from both sides, Republican and Democrats, think that this is the month it's going to get done. So we'll have to wait and see. In my opinion, I give it like a 50-50 chance. I think now that they avoided the government shutdown, there's a little less urgency, to be quite honest with you. And also, Mitch McConnell just had a meeting with Joe Manchin, which is pretty rare. Remember, Joe Manchin's a Democrat. Mitch McConnell's obviously the Senate Minority Leader for Republicans. They had a meeting a couple of days ago, and people are wondering what they're talking about here, right? Because Joe Manchin, he's a Democrat, but he's a moderate, and he works with Republicans as well. And some people think that Mitch McConnell told Joe Manchin, like, hey, we'll avoid a government shutdown if you can hold off on the stimulus package. Give us a couple months till February. Basically guarantee us that you're not going to pass the stimulus package before February 18th, because the debt ceiling increase has been completely tied in with stimulus. Mitch McConnell wants to make Democrats include that in the stimulus package, the debt ceiling increase, and Democrats really don't want to do that for various reasons. So a lot of rumors are going around that Joe Manchin is going to delay the stimulus package till February, and quite honestly, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't want to freak you guys out. I don't want you to think, hey, it's going to be a long time till stimulus gets approved, but I'd give it like a 25% chance that that's what's going on. But in any case, we should have a lot of updates in the next couple of weeks. So subscribe, and as we get more information, I will keep you posted as things develop. Now, as for the stimulus package and Bernie Sanders adding payments, he is trying to include the $1,000 stimulus check for seniors. At this point, most of you know that. If you follow my channel, you know that Bernie Sanders is trying to do this debit card plan that would give seniors at least $1,000. And that, we're assuming, will include SSI and SSDI as well. So with this happening, Bernie Sanders is now doing an additional program. He says he wants to cut back the looming Medicare premium hike. So most of you are probably aware that Medicare premiums are going up this year to $170 per month. Well, Bernie Sanders is saying he wants to lower that. He says, hey, seniors finally got a good COLA adjustment. Let's not increase COLA so much. And guys, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this. I get tons of comments, probably hundreds a day, of people saying, Andrew, I'm so happy we're getting a large COLA increase, but Medicare is going to go up and take it all away, so it doesn't really matter. So this is kind of a thing that has people jaded. People are basically jaded by the fact that every time Social Security goes up, Medicare goes up as well. So let's take a look and see Bernie Sanders' plan. This is really, really good news, and hopefully this makes it into the package as well. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders is asking the White House to cut back a Medicare premium hike set to take effect in just weeks from now and tied to a pricey Alzheimer's drug whose benefits have been widely questioned. In a letter Friday to President Joe Biden, the Vermont Independent called on the president to act immediately to prevent the portion of an outrageous increase in Medicare premiums that's attributable to Aduhelm, a newly approved Alzheimer's medication from drug maker Biogen, which is priced at $56,000 a year. Now, if Biden agrees to what Bernie Sanders wants to do, the increase, which is going to be a $20.60 per month increase for Part B premiums, could be lowered to closer to $10, bringing the monthly premium for 2022 down from $170 to $159. Now, a lot of experts are thinking not only would this be the right thing to do for seniors, so those who are retired can have a little bit less of a burden on their shoulders, they also think it's the right thing to do as far as Democrats getting reelected. Now, Democrats run the risk that seniors are smarting from one of the biggest increases ever in Medicare premiums will turn against them in 2022 midterm elections. See, Democrats are worried that the fact that they still have not increased Social Security benefits, which they promised, every presidential nominee on the Democratic side who was running in 2020, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, they all promised to increase Social Security benefits, increase SSI and SSDI as well. Joe Biden won, he promised to do that, and it still has not gotten done. So quite frankly, they're worried that they're going to lose the senior vote. And guys, I don't blame them. They should. If they don't increase Social Security benefits or at least approve stimulus checks for seniors in the meantime, they don't deserve the senior vote. And guys, let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, as it stands today, the premium increase for Medicare Part B will claw back a huge chunk of next year's Social Security COLA adjustment, a boost that works out to $92 a month for the average retired worker on Social Security to help cover rising prices for gas and food. So the average person is going to get a $92 a month COLA increase, but then their Medicare payment is going up by over $20 per month as well. So Bernie Sanders wants to lower that increase to make sure that more of that COLA adjustment is going into your pocket. So more of your Social Security payments would stay in your bank account. So guys, that's a great idea. And that would go a huge way in helping seniors, especially with everything going on, with inflation being so bad, prices through the roof. Seniors need that Medicare Part B premium to be lowered. And again, let me know in the comments if you agree. Now, as far as the Build Back Better Act, aka the stimulus check package, what else is included in this that will help seniors with medical expenses? There's actually a few things already in there. One, there is something in there that is going to lower prescription drug costs by allowing Medicare to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies. That's a huge difference because the VA can already do that, and they spend much less on medications than Medicare does. And those savings will be passed on to the American people. Now, they also want to punish pharmaceutical companies for raising their drug costs too much. Now, basically what they want to do is create a tax for pharma companies if they increase their price of drugs faster than inflation is going up. So, for example, if inflation is 2% one year and a pharma company increases their drug price by more than 2%, they're going to get hit with a heavy tax, basically disincentivizing companies from increasing drug costs more than inflation, which is huge because seniors have been hit the hardest by inflation because they spend so much more money on medical care. So lowering and trying to put a cap on the increase of drug cost increases would be a huge help for seniors. They're also including a cap on out-of-pocket expenses for seniors on Medicare Part B. Now, let's take a look here. This cap will eventually be $2,000 a year and would be implemented by 2024. And this would be for Part D deductibles and premiums. See, by 2024, Part D participants should see a $2,000 a year cap on out-of-pocket expenses. So this is really good news because I see a lot of seniors, especially I've worked in nursing homes and I've worked in pharmacies. I've seen a lot of seniors who come and they spend $5,000, $10,000 a year on Medicare Part D, when you'd think everything would be paid for, right? So this Build Back Better Act, aka stimulus check package, includes a cap for $2,000 per year in out-of-pocket expenses for Part D medications. Now, again, that's still too much in my opinion. Quite frankly, it should be like $500. Seniors who paid taxes their entire lives shouldn't have to pay $2,000 out of pocket when you've paid into the system your entire life. Then what's the point of paying if you still have to pay again, right? But I guess these things are difficult, and it would be a huge step in the right direction. So again, a $2,000 cap on out-of-pocket expenses, lowering prescription drug costs, and taxing companies for trying to increase drug costs above inflation. All of these things are currently in the Build Back Better Act, aka the stimulus check package. Of course, all of this is happening as Bernie Sanders is trying to include the stimulus checks for seniors, and we expect that to get done hopefully in the next couple of weeks as well. So folks, there is a lot of good news. Bernie Sanders continues to fight for the American people, trying to get stimulus checks, trying to increase Social Security benefits, trying to increase SSI and SSDI, and trying now to include Medicare benefits to lower the Medicare Part B premium and hopefully try and stop companies from increasing prescription drug costs in the future. So there's a lot of good news here for seniors, folks, and there's a lot more to come. So again, please subscribe as the next stimulus package should be approved soon, and I will keep you posted as things develop. Now, to end this video, we're going to have a quick update from Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who gave a huge update on what's happening with the economy, unemployment, wages going up, and monthly stimulus for families, as well as the fact that they think in their eyes, overall, the economy is heading in the right direction, although Republicans continue to slam them, saying that they caused inflation, and this is hurting the American people. So that's for you to decide. Let's take a look, see what Jen Psaki had to say, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with Jen Psaki that unemployment is heading in the right direction? We should be happy that wages are going up and families are getting monthly stimulus checks. They even went on to say that on average, the average person has $100 per month more left in their bank account every single month than they did before the pandemic. What they're trying to say here is that even though we've had inflation, wages are going up, and American families are getting more tax breaks by getting monthly stimulus checks for families, that overall the average American is $100 per month better off than they were before the pandemic. Now, I know one thing for certain, seniors are not better off than they were before the pandemic. So what we need, Jen Psaki, is monthly stimulus checks for seniors. But with that said, folks, let's take a look, see what Jen Psaki had to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, whether or not you agree with her, and I'll see you on the next video.
This morning we learned the unemployment rate is 4.2%, down by a historic 2 full percentage points since President Biden took office. Prior to the American Rescue Plan, CBO estimated that the U.S. would not have a 4.2% unemployment rate until the end of 2024. So this gives you that chart just to give you a sense of exactly what the CBO projections were and how much more quickly we moved to that unemployment rate. After the Great Recession, it took 9 years for the United States to reach a 4.2% unemployment rate, just to give you a sense. The unemployment rate is dropping even more, even as more people are reentering the workforce and looking for jobs. That's good news. There's no doubt that the Biden economic agenda is getting people back to work. In November, we added an additional 210,000 jobs for a total of 6 million jobs in the first 10 full months of the president's administration. That is a record for a new president. Wages are also up, and thanks to the American Rescue Plan, the president and congressional Democrats delivered significant tax cuts for families raising kids. On average, Americans have about $100 more in their pockets each month than they did last year, even accounting for higher prices. The United States is the only leading economy in the world where household income and the economy are stronger than they were before the pandemic. And our COVID strategy is allowing millions of workers to find jobs and ensuring our country can weather any challenges without shutting down our businesses or our schools. We know though there is more work to do, and the historic Build Back Better Act will cut costs that American families have struggled with for years, create more jobs, and continue growing our economy. Just some notes on the week ahead for all of you. On Sunday, the President and the First Lady will return from Camp David to host the Kennedy Center honorees reception, where they will be joined by the Vice President and Second Gentleman. They will then attend the 44th Kennedy Center honors. On Monday, the President will deliver remarks on how his Build Back Better Act will lower the cost of prescription drugs for millions of Americans by finally letting Medicare negotiate drug prices, imposing a tax penalty if drug companies increase their prices faster than inflation, putting a cap on how much seniors and people with disabilities have to pay for drugs, and lower insulin prices so that Americans with diabetes don't pay more than $35 per month for their insulin. The president thinks it's absolutely unacceptable that the American people are forced to pay the highest prices for prescription drugs in the entire world, 2 to 3 times as much as other developed countries. And this is an example of how Build Back Better will reduce many of the biggest costs families face. On Thursday and Friday, the president will host the Virtual Summit for Democracy, bringing together over 100 participants representing governments, civil society, and private sector leaders. The president will deliver the summit's opening and closing remarks and will participate in plenary sessions. I know we've previewed some components of that, and we'll have more in the coming days.
Thanks, Jen. The Build Back Better plan price tag is being described as incomprehensible by Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat. And Lindsey Graham says that he has heard from the CBO that they're going to do an alternative cost estimate and that it's going to cost more and add more to the debt. So is there any thought around here to maybe waiting for Build Back Better until a month that you don't have this big miss in the jobs report?
There's a lot of things gathered into that question, so let me do the best I can. Let me do the best I can for you here. In terms of the report of a new CBO, that is not exactly how it works. There has been, and let me just start with the irony here, that there's an irony that a number of Republicans who forced an unpopular tax giveaway to the rich that increased our debt by $2 trillion, and certainly didn't ask for a score for a continuation of that legislation that did add to the deficit, are now asking for a score, an additional score, post this bill being concluded for something that isn't even going to be law. They're asking about a potential continuation of these components of the package that, again, the president has said he would pay for. I can't get into the psyche of why. I would suggest that it might have something to do with their opposition to raising taxes on corporations. That seems to get under their skin a little bit. We disagree with them on that front. I would say the CBO has put out a score. A number of economists have put out scores. We have outlined in the past that CBO does not have a great deal of experience scoring components like the IRS tax savings. That's something that the former head of the CBO has also spoken to in the past, and that there are estimates about those cost savings that lead to not only our assessments of the cost and savings from the package, but the assessments by many economists.
Okay. On the pandemic, it's been more than 2 weeks since President Biden had a call with Xi, and on that call we know he did not press him to help with the COVID origins investigation because you said that Xi just understands he's supposed to be transparent. So, in the 2+ weeks since, has he helped and been transparent yet?
I don't believe that's exactly what I said. I believe what I said is that we have pressed for this repeatedly. We will continue to, and we'll continue to do that at a range of levels. I don't, unfortunately, have any updates on the participation or willingness of the Chinese to add and provide additional data